So you opened the studio in 2010 over in the Westheimer area, Houston, and tell us just kind of how the studio has developed over the years and what you've done to turn it into such a wild success.
I was in California, which was the mecca of Jiu-Jitsu, still to today, is very strong, you know.
Yeah.
And I bring something to Houston that people haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Which was the Gracie Barra system.
Yeah.
Okay. And was something that in the beginning everybody criticized, because how you're gonna teach someone the whole entire life that, you know, if you wanna do jiu-jitsu, you have to compete, you have to be, you know, be able to come right here every day and give your life, give everything that you have. How you teach this to people to switch to something that I opened, which was instructor.
Yeah.
So we have times to start the class, we have time to finish the class. We have separation by beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So what's something, and also you have the uniform.
Yeah.
So at that time, people would say, "Oh, Gracie Barra now is the McDonald's, McDojo," because they give you a paper, the instructor reads and teach.
Yeah.
But actually, it's like, imagine you take a bunch of cavemen
Yeah.
and you put inside the Apple Store.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take the iPad and use the iPad. They're gonna break the iPad.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
say, this is, you know, when you go to somebody that is old, they say, "Ah, this damn technology." But actually, the technology, when you understand, makes your life easier.
Yeah.
So when I move, I offer something that the other ones don't offer, which was shower on a jiu-jitsu school. That was something new.
Yeah.
I have a laundry service, I
Yeah.
have a towel service, and I have a loaner geese.
You have a makeup
Uniform.
area for the ladies
Now.
in the ladies' locker room.
Now, but before I don't.
Yeah.
But I have all these things that my competitors don't offer. The only thing that they have, that I have, was jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
All the other ones they don't have. So I think this helped me to have people on my door that was not the people that never give a chance to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And at that time, I have a different ways to introduce people to jiu-jitsu. We have a thing called intro class.
Yeah.
If you come before, I'm gonna come you one-on-one for 25 minutes. I'm gonna teach me personally a class.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do this anymore because we become big, you know.
Yeah.
But I think in the beginning, that's what makes us different than the others. And for the fact that I was a Brazilian guy with a good reputation on jiu-jitsu, and you know, I was competing at the time, helps us to grow.
Yeah.
You know.
How many students do you have right now?
750.
Yeah, and I want to remind people, by the way, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Ulpiano, because this is super impressive to me. You have 750 plus students, and this is after a worldwide pandemic, right? And so you've been able to, and as a business owner myself, I've had to navigate through the pandemic. I mean, they shut the courthouses down, no trials. That's tough on a lawyer, but we were like, we're going to figure out a way to get through this. You've done the same. And for you, it's probably even harder because jiu-jitsu it's a contact sport. It involves close contact. And so how are you able as a businessman and a leader to lead your troops, your gym, your people through this incredibly difficult time?
Yeah, when that happens, I remember was March 15th.
Yeah.
The day that they close everything. Okay. So on the week before, all the leaders from Gracie Barra, they was having a meeting to decide if you should close or not.
Yeah.
Even the government sent us to close or not.
Yeah.
And then my father-in-law, he said something that, you know, he said, listen, unless they say to you to close, don't close, because you have the bills.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if it's really bad, they're gonna close.
Yeah.
But I remember 2 days before, we have a meeting, Giacolino, me, Professor Flavio, some other guys, and we actually decide we're gonna close. I'm gonna take the hit, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We can adapt and do the class online, and because people trust on us, this is gonna make us look good. And so before they come to close, we decide to close, and you announce that we close.
Yeah.
Wasn't hard for me because I was thinking now it's over. Because what I do is a contact. You can be close to people, have to be 6 feet. How am I gonna do it?
Yeah.
And I start to think how I'm gonna do it, how I'm gonna do it. Then I buy 50 dummies to put in a school. I say
Yeah.
when they reopen, everybody gonna train on a dummy. And I start to create classes where people couldn't work on from home. And I tried, like at that time, people has no choice. It's not just me who was closed, it's everything.
Everything.
So
that's right.
People was accepting to stay home.
Yeah.
And then my goal was, what can I do to keep my students interested in Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah.
And how can I, navigate to this time? I don't know how long it's going to take it. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, we was offering free private classes online. It was offering a lot of things that we come up with ideas.
Yeah.
And was kind of working.
Yeah.
And I have amazing support of the students. But I decide to send an email, say, if you don't want to get charged, let us know, we're going to close your account.
Yeah.
Because that shows to the student that, as much as it's not just the money, it is what it is, Somebody have to take a hit. That's me. When I make more money, I don't give them back. Now I make less, I have to take the hit. And I think because I was so honest with the students, 50% of students keep the membership. They didn't pause.
I was going to ask you what the numbers were. I can tell you from my perspective, Ulpiano. So I took my first class in February of 2020, and I think it was with Pedro. I took 2 or 3 classes. I remember my first roll was with Jake, and he was just absolutely destroying me, even though I outweigh him by 50 pounds, and I was a college athlete. And I'm like, holy crap, I gotta learn how to do this. And then all of a sudden, the studio's closed, the gym is closed, there's no more jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, this sucks. I really want to train, but I was one of those people who took quarantine very seriously. When the government said to stay home, I stayed home. I kept my family home. I listened to what they were saying. But when I did come back, I came back in October. You made such an incredible effort to make people feel safe. You were, every single class, you would explain to them what was going on. You would explain to them the different, you were buying different sorts of cleaning products and stuff. And I got to tell you, I always felt, from the moment I came back, I always felt very, very secure, very safe in your studio, because I knew that you were personally in there doing whatever you could do to make it as good of experience as possible for everybody.
We offer a service, okay? Besides the fact that Jiu-Jitsu is like a cult, because my position as a leader, I might be able to convince people to see things that even when they don't see, they say yes, just to make me happy.
Yeah.
So I have to be realistic. And I did my homework, which was research. What can I do to make people feel comfortable?
Yeah.
We reopen in May. Okay, so you missed the class May, June, July, August. For 4 months.
Yep.
People was coming. And at that time, say, how am I going to make people feel safe? First idea, I buy 50 dummies. I spread, I measure, make sure everyone is 5 feet for each one. I did all the thing. I buy every single spray product that we can clean.
Yeah.
And students was training on the dummies.
Yeah.
When we first opened again, was crazy busy. 2-3 weeks busy. Wow. And then boring, because we're gonna do the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, people don't want to do dummies all the time. They want to roll for real. Yeah.
And then I start to think, my God, now what I gonna do? So I become with the idea, okay, what can I do to people feel safe? At that time, as much as the problem was bad, was not closing everything. It was open, large scale and everything. So I did, okay, you're gonna train with the same person. You're not gonna change partners. It's a whole week.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So make people feel comfortable. Oh, I know I'm going to train with Brian. I know Brian doing the quarantine, so it'll be okay.
Yep.
And then times were passing and the people feel comfortable in the school, you know, and we don't have that many cases of active students. We didn't have many cases. And I think, you know, was getting better. And then when it started the vaccine, things completely changed.
And that's still true. And that, you know, that's super interesting to me, Ulpiano. I'm not a doctor or like a scientist in that regard, but it seems to me that at least like when my kids went back to school, and I get an email every single day from the school that tells me, hey, we've had 2 or 3 positive COVID tests, whatever. Whereas we're in a jiu-jitsu gym and we're training hard and we're around people. And as far as I could tell, there really wasn't that big of an issue. I mean, there was no issue really, which I don't know whether that's because it's good to get exercise. I'm sure some of it had to do with the fact that you took so many precautions because you care about your students. Your students generally are they take pretty good care of themselves. But isn't it interesting that there just really wasn't, at least as far as I could observe, any problems?
It's crazy because I have some, I did some survey. I sent a survey to all the students. When you planning to come back? What makes you don't want to come back? When you plan to come back? And it's crazy because most of the people that actually take the time off and didn't come back was those ones that got COVID. The ones that was active was not getting.
Isn't
that was maybe 1 or 2 cases.
Yeah.
So I, you know, like I'm not gonna say that COVID is it's not real because you know millions of people all over the world die.
Yeah.
But I really think that this pandemic was just more expose how weak people are healthy wise.
Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more.
Because I have to say this, okay? I don't know one case. I don't know one case because by now I know a lot of people. I have a lot of people that I know.
Okay?
Yeah. I don't know one person that actually was healthy that gets sick at the point you had to be intubated and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody personally.
Yeah.
I know people that say, "Oh, my aunt, my cousins, but directly a person that I know, I don't."
Yeah.
Why? Because on my cycle, I don't have that many unhealthy people.
Yeah, for sure. And I tell you, you know, what a great observation. I agree with you 110%. And I think what we're starting to see now is things like being in good shape, being active, being outdoors, being in the sun, you know, not sitting around inside. I mean, one of the reasons, frankly, I came back is because I was sitting around for 2 or 3 months in my house and I just started getting out of shape and feeling bad. And I was like, this is no good. I need to get back into the training. But you did a phenomenal job with that, Ulpiano, and the fact that you with a jiu-jitsu studio didn't really lose that many students. I mean, you're still. Are you the biggest in Houston? I would assume.
I think yes. I don't. You know, people give me this title. Oh, you have the biggest school in the world. You have the big. I don't give myself this title because I don't really pay attention on the other ones.
Yeah.
Because you know, I hope everybody's doing well. Yes, to see it.
Yeah.
But you know, we are on the biggest one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say are the biggest, but one of the biggest one. I don't know any other one as big as this.